Morning, everybody. I'm going to get started since our time together is limited, and I'm so excited to see you all. This is a great turnout, and I'm delighted for the chance to offer my own welcome to Parents Weekend. What I'd like to do is share a bit about the start of school, and then a little bit also about the plans for the next 2 to 3 years, and finally an observation about parenting in the early 21st century. And then maybe there's a question or two before you have to rush off to class. This is Millbrook's 85th year. We've had an outstanding beginning, a truly outstanding beginning, and that's no small feat for 3 reasons. The first is that we had a record number of new students, 120 new students to welcome to the school and integrate into the student population of 300. And John Downs, who's standing up there, won't exactly tell me the right number of the exact number of kids we have because he's done so well in admissions with his team. Second, we did 2 things that teachers hate. We changed schedules. We changed the opening days schedule, and then we changed the academic day schedule. In spite of all of that, it has gone exceptionally well. That's because of terrific planning by Liz Morrison and Kathy Havard, the Assistant Head Dean of Students, the Dean of Faculty, and all of those that they work with. It's gone really well because of the seniors, the 6 formers. Yesterday, Harry Simon's class of 17 was giving a tour, and the family asked him about senior privileges. And he said, at Millbrook, we don't have senior privileges. We just get more responsibility, which is exactly right. We don't have senior privileges. They just have more responsibility, and they are leading the way, and most especially the student leaders are leading the way. The dorm leaders, the prefects, the curators, the peer counselors. It's a large group. They have a lot of responsibility, and they really are the caretakers of the culture. They're the ones who see things and say, that's not how we do it here, or do you need help, or can we guide you? Sometimes they'll also confront their peers, but they're always taking care of the culture. And because of all of that, we've had just an outstanding beginning. That energy, that planning has built a lot of momentum for the year. And that momentum, which is also catalyzed by the faculty's energy, their commitment, and their experience, is certainly enhanced by watching the new dining hall go up. I hope you'll all have a chance to go in the west entrance of Prum and walk through and take a look on the viewing stand. In case you're not familiar, this is a $10 million, 400-seat, sustainably designed dining hall with all the support facilities for that. It is on schedule and on budget to be completed in August and ready for the 16-17 school year. So we're in great shape with that. And frankly, I've forgotten about that project. It's doing what it's supposed to do, and we're on to the next things that we want to accomplish in the next 2 to 3 years. More faculty housing. We're planning on 6 more units. We need to bring more of our faculty on campus to support our residential program. We need to renovate the basement of the schoolhouse. It was our science center for a long time, now needs to become classrooms for the humanities. We need to expand the seating in the chapel. And then we need to return Prum to its original elegance and make what is now the dining hall the school's formal living room and meeting space. So we're working on all of that, plus committed to growing the endowment for compensation and benefits for faculty and staff and for financial aid. So there's no lack of things to do. Along with keeping school well, we've got ambitious plans for the next 2 to 3 years, and we're hoping to do all those things I just described in the next 2 to 3 years. Now some observations about parenting. As I said, in the early 21st century, it's my conclusion that you are the most embattled generation of American parents since the late 60s, early 70s. You feel that way? It's interesting. I shared that observation with a large group of 8th grade parents in Greenwich, and they said, no, we're all good. New Canaan last night, not so good. They agree with me. And I think that for 2 reasons. One, some of you have heard me say in the past, and I'm repeating it because I'm not sure people really want to believe it and therefore can react to it. You are the prey of big business. They have figured out that keeping you anxious sells all sorts of stuff. Keeping parents anxious is a business tactic. And please understand that, because it's robbing you of your common sense. It's making you doubt the things that you do. Now, maybe not you, but other parents. And it sells all sorts of programs and tutoring and medication. It sells anything in response to anxiety. And the reality is, you really don't have much to be anxious about. Your children are the safest and healthiest children in the history of the world. And that's a fact. I've done the research. Infant mortality, violent deaths per 100,000, life expectancy, all at the best levels ever. So that anxiety that you feel, and from talking to many of you, I know you feel it, is manufactured by people who want to sell you things. So please think about that. When someone's making you feel anxious, I'm not sure that it's real, but it exists. Second is, you are the first generation of parents to parent digital natives. Children who live in this box, right? Adolescents have always had dual lives, always. They show you what they want you to see as adults, and they keep underground what they are doing as they grow from childhood to adulthood. But you're really the first generation where they do all the underground stuff here. And there's no body of experience for you to rely on. There's not a generation of parents who've done this before. And there's no body of research that is yet conclusive that tells us the effects of this, right? That makes our partnership as parents and school more important than ever. More important than it ever has been. We need to keep talking to each other. We need to keep working forward, because we are doing the research. We are thinking about it. That's our job. We're spending a lot of time on the effects of this and where these should be and where they should not be. They can't be in this space, ever. They can't be in the chapel, ever. They can't be in the polling house living room when the third form comes for me to read to them on Thursday nights. In the new dining hall, they will not go there. So we're thinking a lot about this and want to share that with you. So you have partners in this. Take heart. You're not as embattled as I said. You really do have partners in this, and we are thinking about anxiety and kids today, and ways to make them optimistic and empathetic and resilient in the age of this little box. So with that, I'll stop, because we don't have a whole lot of time as you whisk back out to classes. But any questions? Things you want to know more about? Yes?
I think everybody here is involved at some point in the college process. At what point or how important is the anxiety that the college process creates coming from the colleges, and how do you deal with it?
I don't know that they're trying to create anxiety. I mean, again, I think people have figured out that keeping you anxious will sell books, will do a lot of things. And fortunately, the literature is beginning to shift to try to help you calm down, which is why Frank Bruni is coming to speak with you all, because he just wrote a book about where you go is not who you will be. And so we're doing that. One of our parents, who's off to my right, wrote in response to Nancy Keller Coffrey's email to parents about all the fifth formers are doing in the college process, how sad it is that kids have to now spend 2 years of high school thinking about college. So one of the things you can find comfort in, and maybe even confidence in, is we got this. We know how to do this. We've got a big staff. They're working with some kids on the college process in the third form, because that's right for students in the third form. They're working with others in the fourth form. We start working with all students in the fifth form, and then it ramps up in the sixth form. But our goal is to empower our students, to let them own this process, and to try to reduce tension. If you do the process well, it always turns out well. By the way, all your kids are going to go to college. All your kids will get into college. Okay? All your kids will get into college. They'll probably get into more than one if they're not applying early decision, and they will go. This is my 26th year. It's happened every year. Thank you. Anything else?
Maybe an observation.
Yep.
In the short period of time that my daughter's been away from home, communication has been very little. And, so, one begins to wonder. And what I've learned, though, and that's why I'm trying to share it, is that they do have very little time. I mean, they are busy from start of the day to end of the day. And the little time that they do have, maybe they don't really want to talk to anybody other than perhaps a casual chat with their pals. So I've learned to back off a bit on the thought of that anxiety and let her, well, in the case of my daughter, let her reach me. And I think it's helping.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Yes?
Is it parents or generation parents, maybe this generation, some of the parents, but that's the most anxious, or is that our kids are the most anxious, and that's what Disney is playing on about?
Anxious parents create anxious kids.
Anxious kids create anxious parents.
Yeah. I think it's not a chicken or egg dilemma. I disagree on that. Questioning your judgment, which again, this is my experience. This comes from talking with parents over a long period of time. You think, well, this is what should happen, but then somebody says something to you, and you worry about this and you worry about that. I think the answer to so many things with anxious kids is it will work out. We'll figure it out. Just reassuring them, as our parents did certainly my parents did for me, it'll work out. You'll figure it out. The answer is often pretty simple. Keep it up. Go find someone to talk to at the school. They'll help. And I think you'll work it out. And let me know tomorrow how it's going. You've got to give your confidence and your hard-earned confidence from living life that it will work out. Again, it usually does. I can't think of many cases that it hasn't worked out one way or another. Yep.
What was the
Peter?
schedule change designed to do?
To give kids a free period so that they could take 6 classes and still have some time to breathe in the schedule. Because what we are hearing is kids say, I want to take art, I want to take a 6th class, I want to do this, but I can't because I have no free time. There's no time in the day. So it was to bring some sanity to the day. And we've also tried to start as many times as we can during the week the day with something that has kids move rather than sit right in class. So assembly, community service. So of the 6 days, 3, maybe 4, certainly 3, they start with assembly or community service. The other 3, they go right into class. And it's all based on a lot of brain research that's been done that we've looked at over the years.
What's the feedback from the kids and from the faculty as far as how it's working?
I don't know that we've gotten much feedback yet. It seems to be going smoothly. People are going where they need to go and doing what they need to do. But it's with any sort of change like this, I think it has to run for 2 years to really understand its impact. And that's one of our research models. If we change something, we're going to try to run it for 2 years, unless it's a disaster, and then see how it goes. And it's definitely, I would think, going well and accomplishing the objectives. Yep.
So the device you held up has brought a sense of immediacy to the world.
Yep.
Have you seen that in the children that you're teaching, that they want instant answers for things versus laid out over the course of weeks or months or years?
They're fighting that, but that's very well said. I got to answer now. And I think that does get back. I actually would take the reduced communication as a good sign. Got it under control, I've figured it out, we'll talk. But you're right, there is that immediacy, and one of the things we are having to teach now is you don't need to deal with that right now. You can be in this room and not answer that text. You can do a lot of things, but yes, that's part of the curriculum now. I said resilience, which comes with patience, which comes with the optimism that it will work out. So I'm just going to keep at it rather than wanting it right now. Yep. Good observation. I want you to leave here, though, with a smile. No, I do. Because A, you have the best possible partner in this process. As I said, in a lot of the things that you're thinking about and worried about, we got this. This is what we do. You are the experts in your children. We are the experts in adolescence. And we're trying to stay ahead of the curve all the time. I've been talking about the importance of kids being known and needed for years, and now there's literature about the importance of kids being known and needed in schools. We've been talking about the importance of real responsibility. There's now a lot coming out about real responsibility. So these are things that we think about all the time and work on, and we're eager and we're not only eager, we're deeply grateful for the opportunity to work with your children to do this. And your kids are great. School is terrific, as I said. We're having a great year. Things are, even if there are some bumps in the schedule, and I think it's actually gone pretty smoothly, they're dealing with it. And as I said, the student leaders, the sixth form, and the sixth form are the ones who should resent change. They say, why are you changing in my senior year? It used to be this way. At boarding school or in high school in general, if something exists for 3 years, it's a tradition. It's been here forever. Any changes, why are you doing this to me? And we haven't had that experience at all. It's been really great. So I'm going to send you off to class or wherever you're supposed to go next. Thank you very much.